Hi everyone, welcome back to our e-commerce dashboard series. In our previous videos, we have discussed about requirement gathering document and we have installed SQL Server Management Studio. But today's video is going to be a huge milestone in this series because we are moving from setup to action. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to create your first database, how to create your tables and how to fetch the data by writing SQL queries. And the most exciting part, how to connect your database to Power BI. I know data connections and writing code sounds complicated, but don't worry, I'm going to guide you through the every single line of code. So without further delay, let's get started. All right, now let's create a database. To do that, click on new query. In SQL, we use a simple command called create database and then we give our database a name. So here I'm naming it as demo.db. So when we enter this command create database, what happens? It tells the system that create some space to store our data. So once this is done, click on execute. As you can see here, the query ran successfully. Now to see our database name, go to under Object Explorer, you have this section called databases. Expand this. You should be able to see here. Let's expand this one also. All right. So don't panic if you're not able to see your database name. Right click on database and refresh. Now you will be able to see the database name. So now let's create the tables. We have two options here. One is we can manually create the table and insert the value by using insert statements, or else another option is that we can import the value from Excel sheet to our database. So here I am going to follow the second option because I have more than 1500 records. So manually inserting each value would take more time and it is impractical. And some of you might be thinking, when the data is already present in Excel sheet, why can't we directly connect Excel sheet to Power BI? Why is she bringing the data from Excel to SQL and then connecting it to Power BI? But let me tell you this, in real world project, your data lives in database and you are expected to write SQL queries to fetch the data. So just to show you that I'm doing this, hope it makes sense. Now, uh, let me show you how to import the data from Excel sheet to SQL. To do that, right click on your database name. So here, first thing is that, as you can see, it is still set to master. Click on this. Click on this and change it to demo.db. All right, once this is done, right click on your database and click on task. So you will get so many options here. Here, click on import data. Go to task. Okay, all right, this is done. So now this is giving you an option, select the source from which to copy the data. So my data exists in Excel sheet. Let me click on the drop down here. So I'm going to select Microsoft Excel option here and Excel file path. You need to choose the file path where your data has been stored. Select browse and my file name is e-commerce final with keys. So I'm going to select this one and now click on open. So once this is done, click on next. Okay, and now look at the option here, choose a destination, specify where to copy data to. So now click on the drop down here, scroll down, you will find an option called Microsoft OLEDB driver for SQL Server. Select that. Okay, all right, let me select it again. If it doesn't get selected in the first time, select it again, it will automatically take it. And as you can see, you will be able to see your server name here, and you will be able to see your database name also. And now let's click on next. So basically we are copying the data from Excel sheet to our database demo.db. Now click on next. So here in the Excel sheet I have 4 sheets. Let me show you that. So as you can see in Excel sheet, I have stored customer information in customer table and sales information in sales table and products, and then similarly for marketing. So I'm going to select all the 4 sheets. Select that. All right. Now I'm going to click on next. And now again click on next and then finish. So it is importing the data. Let's wait for that. All right, as you can see, the execution was successful. Let's click on close. Now, to see if the tables have been imported successfully or not, what I'm going to do, I'm going to expand demo DB, and under demo DB, I'm going to expand tables, because in this database, I have stored my tables. So as you can see, we have dbo.customers, dbo.marketing, dbo.products, and dbo.sales. All right, we have created a database and stored the data into our database. And now let me show you how to fetch the data from database. But before that, as you can see, we have our data in 4 different tables: dbo.customers, dbo.marketing, dbo.products, and dbo.sales. So first we need to make sure that these 4 tables are connected with each other and are communicating with each other. So for that, we need to understand our data set. Let me pull up the data set. Let's start with sales table. This is our fact table, because every time someone bought something, it is recording that detail. And it has columns like order ID, order date, month year, ship date, customer ID, product ID, quantity, unit price, discount, revenue, and status. But you can see here it is full of IDs: customer ID, product ID, and order ID. What if I want to know what is the name of the customer for customer ID 85? Then I should go and look in customer table. However, this is only possible if sales table and customer tables are connected. But how are we making sure that these two tables are connected? We need to connect them through a common column called customer ID. Here also we have customer ID, and here also we have customer ID. Similarly, if you want to know what is the product that he has purchased, then we need to look in products table. But before that, we need to join these two tables through a common column called product ID. And similarly, we are going to connect sales table to marketing table through a common column called month year. Unlike other tables, marketing doesn't have IDs. It has month year. And in sales table also, we have a column called month year. So we are going to connect sales and marketing through this column. Now that we have understand the data set, let's start writing a query. Okay everyone, I have already written the query. So I'm going to simply copy paste it here. Now let me explain you what the query is doing. As you can see, our first statement is select. Even though select is at the stop, the actual execution starts from clause. So first SQL, what it does, it goes to our database demo DB. And after that, whatever table names you pass in from clause, it is going to look for those tables. So in our case, we have passed dbo.sales, dbo.customers, then dbo.products, and dbo.marketing. And once it finds the table, it is going to join these tables based on the condition that we have passed. Here you can see that I am connecting these two tables. For example, in our case, I am connecting dbo.sales with dbo.customers by using a common column called customer ID. And here you might have noticed something. I'm using left join. Why? In SQL, what left join does is, it is going to give you all the records from the left table. In our case, from sales table, I'm going to get all the records and only the matching records from the customer table. In our case, this is customers. Why I'm using a sales table in left hand side? Because as I already told you, sales is our fact table and it is storing every transaction detail. So this is my priority table and I don't want to lose any information. And also here I'm simply attaching customer name and product name to sales table. That's the reason I'm keeping sales table as priority. Also, let me tell you something important. In front of every table name, I have mentioned something like as S, as C, as P, and so on. What does it mean? This is simply I'm giving a nickname to every table. Okay. Why am I doing that? Because whenever I want an output column, I don't want to mention the entire table name. So now once this is done, our select clause comes into the picture. In select clause, we are going to pass whatever the column names that we want to see in the result table. So here I want to see order ID, order date, and month year from sales table. So that's the reason I have taken s.order ID, s.order date, and s.month year. So I have already told you S indicates dbo.sales. S is the nickname for dbo.sales. Similarly, from customer name, I'm fetching c.customer name, and from product table, I'm fetching product name, and from marketing, I'm fetching ad spend. I hope it's clear. All right, everyone. Now let's execute the query. Click on execute button here. Let me expand the section below. So as you can see, we got the result table with the column names that we have passed in the select clause. Now that the query is done, let's see how we can connect this to Power BI. All right, everyone. Now our query is done. Let me show you how to connect the database to Power BI. To do that, go to Get Data. Here, click on SQL Server. Once you click on SQL Server, a window will pop up asking for two things. One is server and database name. To find the server name, go back to SSMS. Here, below Object Explorer, you will find your server name. Copy till SQL Express. Paste it here. And database, what is our database name? Demo DB. And now, expand advanced options. And now go back to your SSMS and copy paste the query. Now click on OK. As you can see, it is connecting to the database. Let's wait for that. All right. Now I'm going to click on load. All right. As you can see, we have successfully imported the data to Power BI. All right, everyone. Now our data is available in Power BI. So in the next video, we are going to do metric calculations. So we are going to calculate what's the total revenue, how much money we have spent on advertisement, and what is the profit, and so many. All the metrics that we have already discussed in the requirement gathering document. So make sure to stay tuned, and I will see you in the next one.